sweetheart, if they tell you that they don't deserve you, if they tell you that they are scared they're gonna hurt you, if they tell you that you are afraid, they're afraid you're gonna leave them, you better listen. Okay? You better listen. In the minimum, you might listen a little closer. You might ask a few clarifying questions. That's always what I do. When somebody hits me with those things, depending on what it is, if they say, I don't deserve you, I'm going to take that as a confession that they know something I don't about their character. That's what I'm going to take that as. Because quite often, I've had a past habit of seeing people for their potential and not for the actuality of how they show up. And so if somebody comes to me and says, I don't deserve you, I'm going to say, okay, they know something about themselves that I don't. They know themselves better than I do. I don't know them better than they do. So if they think they don't deserve me, probably a good conclusion because they know themselves better than I do, you know? But also, if it's not something like that where it's like, okay, you don't deserve me, I believe you. If it's something like, I'm scared you're going to leave me, everybody leaves me, I might ask a little questions about that because that could be somebody who has abandonment issues and is afraid and does things to actively not let their abandonment issues harm relationships, okay? Or it could be somebody who has abandonment issues, therefore they do things through their trauma wounds that push people away, and that's why people leave, right? Because quite often people will have an abandonment wound and push away people in a subconscious attempt to maintain control. They don't know they're doing it. It's subconscious. I've had experiences with that in the past. It's not intentional, but the way it harms other people is very real. And reality is, even if somebody has an abandonment wound, I'm not gonna sit there and let like somebody push me away and say they don't want to. Like, I don't do that. So like, if you wanna push me away, that's cool. But I absolutely will listen closer if somebody tells me like, oh, I'm scared you're gonna leave just like everybody else. I like asking questions about that. And then what I'm looking for in the answers is I'm looking for accountability. Because every person I know who struggles with abandonment issues and is genuinely doing the work to not cause harm, they're going to take accountability for the way that they've harmed people and for the way that they've led to people leaving. That's a huge thing, is accountability. And that doesn't mean taking accountability and saying everything that happened was always my fault, and that's still not really healthy. But if they look at it and be like, yeah, you know, I had these abandonment things happen, even if they don't want to talk about the details, but they'll say like, you know, some sort of abandonment wound, self-awareness, huge. And then they'll admit something like, yeah, you know, in the past, I used to self-sabotage because of this wound, and I'm really working on it. Ask them how they work on it. Ask them for their coping skills. If somebody is genuinely healed or healing and trying to avoid harming other people, they'll be able to answer questions like that. They'll be able and they'll be willing to answer questions about, what are your coping skills? What do you do to avoid hurting your loved ones since you carry this wound? Because if somebody's truly healing from that wound, they have to acknowledge that not only have they been hurt by being abandoned, they have unintentionally hurt other people with that same wound, right? That's just a reality. It's hurt people. But yeah, hope this helps somebody. Love y'all.